everyone, Cadams Tech here. So in today's video, I wanted to kick this off with a junior software engineer roadmap. And I want to give a breakdown from absolutely knowing nothing at all about code to landing your first job as a junior software engineer, or at least getting paid to write code. And for this segment in particular, we're going to kick it off with learning to code. But first, if you're new to my channel, my name is Christopher Adams. I am a senior full stack software engineer living in the Denver, Colorado area. If you feel like you've gotten anything of value from this video, remember to like, subscribe, and share with anyone that you know is interested in learning software engineering. Okay, learning to code. This is a big part of becoming a software engineer, right? Because you can't really become a software engineer unless you know how to write software. But there are other parts around being a software engineer outside of learning to code. Learning to code is actually a very small percentage of the job itself, believe it or not. But with that being said, in order to find out whether or not you would want to be a software engineer, you need to get in there and start digging around and playing with code yourself. This is where a tutorial may be of service. On my YouTube channel, I have created a video introduction to HTML, and I believe it's in 2 parts. And I basically go through the most important HTML tags you need to know just breaking into the field. I give you about 80 to 90% of the most important tags that you need to know. So I go through step by step, assuming you have no knowledge of writing code before, and I teach you HTML. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. And I go through the most important tags, and I explain to you what they do, and I show you in code how to go about coding it. And I think it's really good. If you do watch this video for Introduction to HTML, make me a promise and actually code along with the video. Maybe, sometimes you just want to sit back and relax and just watch the video, but it doesn't really sink into muscle memory until you actually physically type it and understand what's going on. So I strongly recommend that you do that. You may need to go through the video once or twice, but I feel like I give a really good breakdown of what each of these tags do and give you something to work from, right? It's a good jumping off point. Okay, so learning to code, right? So I mentioned HTML. This will be on the front end of the website, which is the client facing, what the user will see. And HTML is basically the skeleton of the page. It is the structure, the skeleton, right? But the next thing you would want to get into is CSS. So assuming that you are going the path of front end, or at least want to learn a bit about front end, the languages that you would want to become familiar with and gain a good understanding of are HTML, which stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It's like the skeleton of the web page, the UI. CSS, which stands for Cascading Style Sheets. And it is basically the styling, the color, the positioning, creating the good aesthetic, the nice looking aesthetics to the UI. And then there's JavaScript, which is the programming. This is when you're actually getting to the real heavy duty programming stuff, right? HTML and CSS are coding languages. They aren't programming languages. JavaScript is a fully fledged programming language. You can add logic, you can add a brain to the application. Now, if you're more server side, if you want to jump into that first, I personally strongly recommend full stack eventually, but if you want to start with the front end, do what I said. But if you want to start on the server, pick a programming language as well. You could do JavaScript with Node or Deno or what's that other one? Bun. Or you could use C#, or you could use Python, or you could use PHP. So just do a little bit of research for your area where you live and see which languages are popular. Don't get paralyzed about, oh, there's too many options and option overwhelm. Lock into a language. If you're unsure, I strongly advocate and recommend JavaScript, because JavaScript can both be used on the client and the server, and I believe, as the last time I checked, it's the world's most popular programming language. So you can pretty much run it on any device. So I think you'll be very safe if you choose JavaScript as your first programming language. So in addition to actually learning the languages themselves, you would want to build real things with it. So try and build something real. If you have an idea of your own that you would like to bring to life, build that. Make it something unique that you can demo to employers and clients. If you don't know anything that you would like to build, then try and reach out to friends and family members and see if they have something small that you can build. Don't take on anything too big and overwhelming. Just get your feet wet with the situation and kind of incrementally inch your way into taking on more advanced projects. So by building projects, that's where you cut your teeth. That's where you learn to leverage the technologies that you've learned. If you can do this, then your confidence will grow, because the more times you're exposed to certain features and certain things that have been requested out of you as a software engineer, the more your confidence will grow because you'll say, oh, I've seen that before. And then in situations where you are totally, you're totally unaware of how to build something, but you still persist and then you get through that, if you do that multiple times, your confidence is going to grow when you're handed projects that you are unsure of whether or not you can complete, because you've proven it to yourself several times before that you can indeed complete the projects. So you have to learn to code. Without code, I mean, that's the tools that you need for your job. That is like being an electrician without their tool bag that they carry around. You need to learn to code. What resources would I personally recommend to learn how to code? I think if you're getting into the HTML route, go ahead and definitely take, it's free, it's on my YouTube channel, my intro to HTML stuff that I put out there. Once you do that, I would go to Udemy, which is Udemy. I really like that site. There's also like Team Treehouse. There's also lynda.com. There's also YouTube that you can just search for different topics. But for Udemy, I think that's a good go-to for intro to something. So if you go on there and then you search HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then press enter, see which courses pop up and are highly rated and ranked as far as like the number of people rating them and the number of stars. So you want to look for the number of stars possible and then a high number of ratings. And make sure the course was recently updated too. So I think it has a last updated date. Try and look at things like that as well. So when you take this course, it's good for getting an intro to things. So follow along with the keystrokes, do everything that they're doing in the project, try to make it sink in and understand what's going on. But once you get to a certain point, you need to take this and build something real with it. So don't get too crazy into the courses where all you're doing is courses all the time. Once you feel confident enough, like, okay, I think I see what's going on with this course and how to build this stuff, then just put the course on pause and start building something real with those technologies, because that's where you're going to cut your teeth. That's where you're going to make a lot of what you're learning stick the most, because when you encounter those problems and you get stuck and then you figure them out, that's when it really sticks in your head, and that's when you really evolve as a software engineer. Yeah, so intro courses on Udemy or something of the like, that's not the end-all be-all platform. And then once you feel confident enough to understand the basics, take it to a real project and start cutting your teeth with it. This is how you are going to demo to employers that you know what you're talking about. Okay, so this is the first part to the series for the roadmap to junior software engineer in 2025. And I hope you all have gotten something of value out of this video. If you have any questions, definitely post them below and I'll get back to you. I guarantee you I will. I would love to help you on this journey of becoming a junior software engineer from the moment you're just now getting into it to getting your first dollars and getting paid. So second part is coming out very soon, and I think it's going to be about 5 or 6 parts, each one covering a different topic. So just wanted to make it short and sweet. Please remember to like and subscribe and share with anyone that you know is interested in learning software engineering. All right. See you all later.